Okay. Oh, I need my headphones. Oh, that would. Oh. Okay. Hopefully the green screen did. No. Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna be. Yo, what's up, guys? Today we're gonna be reacting to Game Theory Minecraft: The Secret Deep Origin of Creepers. Now, I've been following the series for about a year now. It only just started for like last year, but it's an amazing series on Game Theory talking about Minecraft's secret lore. I don't know how there's lore, but apparently there's a secret desert origin of the creepers, which I think he's referring to sandstone, which has things of creepers. There's pictures of creepers on the sandstone. So anyway, let's just get into it. Ooh.
Here
Indiana
we see the
Jones.
Eye of Horus. The ancient Egyptians used it as a symbol of protection and good health.
Oh, okay. Nice editing.
Here we have ourselves the Ankh, representing life. Write that down. Yes. And this one? Well, we just
Creeper.
haven't figured this one out yet.
Dr. MatPat, what's that hissing sound?
Probably just the sound my torch
Boom.
makes. Hello,
History
Internet.
is happening.
Welcome to Game Theory,
Oh,
the
I
show
get
that
it.
continues to chisel away at the hidden lore of Minecraft. And in that little archaeological dig, we've covered the secrets hidden in a lot of Minecraft's environments, from the game's underwater biomes to the woodland mansions
I remember
caves,
that.
to what lies beyond the portals
Yes,
to the
that was
desert
a
in the
dream,
end.
I
But one
think.
that I've largely left ignored up till now has been the desert biome, which I can now say, having researched this theory, was a huge mistake on my part. While the desert might be lacking in life, it is teeming with lore, filled with subtle game design decisions that give us
the
details
creeper.
about the long-forgotten.
See, I already fixed the video. I don't need MatPat. See, it's right here, the creeper.
Ancient world of this game, and connecting in with 11 theories that we've had since the earliest days of the channel. In short, the desert is where everything in the lost history of Minecraft.
I don't want to touch my shirt because
which is why it is a shame that I am only
my mic.
Now. So I hope you're thirsty, theorists. Thirsty for a nice, tall, cool glass of knowledge, that is. Because today is
knowledge.
Cats, creepers, and desert temples.
Oh yeah, cats. Because you didn't know, cats can actually scare away creepers, so in Minecraft, get cats, because creepers are annoying.
A quick note here to say that brand new TheoryWare is available right
whoa,
now.
No way, bro. Like, whoa, like, oh my gosh. Okay,
to our theory. Now, to begin with a quick
that is a
refresher,
long plug that I'm
series,
skipping.
Which I've been building on for the better part of 2 years.
Yes,
with the
2 years.
The world of Minecraft was once home
wait, hold
to
on,
an
it was 2
ancient
years.
civilization and with a quick refresher, my little Minecraft lore series, which I've been building on for.
Okay, yeah. I guess this was last year. Yeah, I remember this. Like, they're the same. I didn't even know it was 2 years ago.
The better part of
that
2
is
years began
whoa,
with the premise
long,
that the world of
long
Minecraft
time.
was once home to an ancient civilization of builders who left behind the structures that we see today. Over time and many episodes of Game Theory, we've been able to show that this ancient race was obsessed with preserving life, leading to experiments with soul sand that resulted in the creation of the
iron
alongside
golems,
other mobs that might also be made from souls. And while I think I've made a
coming home
case for all that so far, today
someone's
we're
opening the
examine
garage.
the
Probably
game
the
that
serial
is by
killer.
far the strongest argument for this being the true history of the Minecraft universe. One absolutely intended by the game developers. And not just me, you know, doing that thing that I always do where I insert lore where lore was never meant to go. So what exactly am I talking about? Well, if we examine the blocks of the temples that spawn randomly into the desert biome, we see a symbol that looks like a real-world hieroglyph, which in ancient Egypt was the symbol of life.
I never knew that.
This should immediately strike you as odd. The world of Minecraft is entirely fictional and largely a blank slate where we can layer in whatever adventures we want to have in this world. And yet, for some reason, this is our one instance of a real-world symbol being used in the Minecraft universe.
I don't know. I feel like I could be mistaken for something else.
They didn't have to use any symbol. It's not like jungle temples or underwater temples have any sort of real-world symbology in them. So that's already an odd little outlier. If they really felt the need to use hieroglyphics, there are dozens of iconic ones that they could have chosen, like the Eye of Horus, which, if you ask me, is much more.
That kind of, I mean, To be honest, I think if you really going by the lore, but going not by the lore, like the story, to be honest, I think that eye is a little too hard to put on a 3 by 10 block structure pillar. So I guess I can see why they did that.
Iconic.
I know.
Get it? Iconic. I hate myself so much. But instead, they decided to go with the Ankh, a symbol of life. Interesting. What's more, the Ankh didn't just symbolize life. It was
feel
a
like that could be a
symbol of the idea of
coincidence.
the continuity of life. The ancient Egyptians were famous for mummifying their dead and then building
Yes.
elaborate, beautiful, and massive tombs for them. All of this
Can
was
I be
based on the
buried in a
idea that
tomb?
what we now think of as death wasn't the end of life, but rather just one step on their journey into the afterlife. Hence the need to preserve the physical body even after all signs of life leave it. That is roughly...
I'm ending this video. This video is over. So I hope you guys. No, I'm joking. I'm not ending. I just had to unlock my door. So then just got
eternal life. Life after death. Which, if you ask me, ties in pretty neatly with the theory that I've been crafting about these Minecraft builders. An ancient civilization obsessed with life and finding a way to conquer death? Check. Building a bunch of ancient structures that have endured to the present day, leaving archaeologists like us trying to piece together how these ancient civilizations operated? Check again. And this is just scratching the surface. The more that we dig into the desert biome, the more we start to get a clearer picture of what kinds of projects those ancient builders were working
Play War Thunder now. Join millions of players across the globe in massive battles on tanks, aircraft, and
on. Oh yeah, we're talking about those guys. One of gaming's most iconic enemies, the Creeper. One of the first things that every player learns about the desert pyramids is, well, you gotta be careful, because the people who built them left behind some traps. Traps in the form of TNT. In fact, desert pyramids are one of the very few places in the game that you can actually find TNT. You can find TNT near the ocean by looting buried treasure and shipwrecks, but the only places that you're gonna be finding TNT in the world itself are in the desert pyramids or in certain woodland mansion rooms. Put a pin in that woodland mansion stuff, we're going to come back to that in a few minutes. Now, the desert temple TNT is notable because TNT has a very specific connection to the Creeper. Obviously, TNT and the Creeper are both very explodey. They both make a similar hissing sound. You may also notice that crafting TNT requires gunpowder, and one of the few reliable sources of gunpowder is killing creepers. What you might not know about the Creeper is that they are literally made of TNT. No joke, in the official Minecraft book, the Mob Bestiary, you get to see a cross-section of a creeper that has a TNT block shoved right into the center of its body. Now, in case you didn't realize this, Mother Nature doesn't tend to put neat little labels on your internal organs. Otherwise, all those dissections in high school science class would be way easier. No, this outright tells us that the Creeper was an artificial creation by some sort of people that would label a block of explosives as TNT. Like, for example, the same civilization that built the desert pyramids and rigged them with TNT traps. And yeah, I get that the TNT label is kind of a joke, but also it's kind of not a joke, because in that same Mob Bestiary entry, which is written from the perspective of an in-world adventurer, they point out that, quote, the ancient desert temples clearly portray the Creeper's image. Now, it might seem weird at first to suggest that the Creepers were made by a civilization located in a desert, or even made in a desert at all. After all, Creepers are green, and the desert biome is significantly less green than other places in the game world. But remember, this mob was made by an ancient civilization, and the desert they lived in might not be completely identical to the desert that we see today. In fact, just like with the Ankh, this is another place where I think turning to real-world Egypt can actually give us some insight. While most people's mental picture of Egypt just includes things like the pyramids and sand, lots and lots of sand, Egypt is also home to the Nile River, which is surrounded by lush plant life. Now, way back in 2014, I actually did a Minecraft episode
icky, and it gets everywhere.
apart what the Creeper could possibly be. Back then, I theorized the Creeper's green color was peat moss, decayed vegetation often found near bodies of water like bogs, rivers, rivers and
Oh.
marshes. And wouldn't you know it, but peat is, in fact, found near rivers like the Nile River in real-world Egypt. So yeah,
Okay.
turns out
Well,
that real-world Egypt is home to the sort of stuff that creepers...
what? No? Oh no. Go check. Yeah, there's a kidnapper outside my house.
But of course, we don't care about real-world deserts, we care about Minecraft deserts. Could a
Okay,
lush
Minecraft.
green bomb monster come out of there? We unfortunately don't
If
see
it actually
the
is,
same kind
like,
of lush floral wildlife in the
bad
game
guy,
that
I'm
we
just
see in
gonna
real-world
just
Egypt after
yeet
all.
my
But could
computer,
Minecraft
throw my desk
deserts
at the
have
door.
once flowed with a river similar to the
Boom.
Nile? Is there even a way that
Kinda
we could
heavy
possibly
desk.
tell this fact in a video game?
Plastic.
Yes and yes. In fact, we can know it in the game in much the same way that real-world researchers have to solve the same problem in real life, using geologic formation. Answering the question of what ancient
Why do I
worlds
keep doing
look
that?
like is something that real-world
That's
researchers have to tackle all the time. Since Mars has been in the news lately, let's use that
Yes.
as our example. Many scientists currently believe that Mars was once home to liquid water.
Yes,
But
I
why
agree
would
with
they think that, considering the planet is currently drier than
Because
Donkey's sense
there's
of
a
humor?
river.
Well, because of geologic formations. The surface of Mars has
Because,
canyons,
yeah,
the same kind of canyons that would be carved by a flowing river, and have...
That just proves that the Earth had tons of water and... Wait, so does that mean that proves that the Grand Canyon was formed by water? I think so. Oh wait, no, that's already a thing. I went to the Grand Canyon and I forgot. Oh, did they? Well, I mean, most people. Yeah, it's formed by water, isn't it?
Carved by a flowing river here on Earth. By the same token, we can look at the desert hills in Minecraft and conclude the high likelihood that
I'm
they
so
also
smart.
would have been made by ancient waterways, slowly carving away at the land bit by bit, year after
I
year.
swear, I'm
How do I
probably
know that
already
I'm
messed
not
up my green
completely
screen.
overthinking this? Remember, these aren't just sand dunes. If you start digging down, you hit sandstone,
Yes.
a rock that is formed mostly in rivers, lakes, the ocean floor, and
I can't
beaches,
dance
all
because...
places that either currently have or
Ow.
once had water. So yeah,
What?
given what we know
I'll tell you
about
what about
real-world
that. In
Egypt, the
Britain, we have tons of
geologic
water, I
formations
tell
of
you.
Mars, the fact that
Innit?
creepers are depicted in the temples, the connections to TNT, and heck, just the fact that creepers spawn in deserts, we get a good sense that creepers,
What?
the ancient
Oh.
builders, and
Yesterday
the desert biomes may just all be connected.
was
But
like
if you look at the loot that appears in desert
Ireland
pyramids,
Day,
another
Irish
interesting
Day.
picture starts to emerge. For one thing, you can loot
Irish
ancient
Day,
chests and
right?
find bones
Oh, St.
and rotten
Patrick's
flesh.
Day.
Not all that
The guy
different
who
from
brought like
real-world
religion to like
archaeologists uncovering ancient
Greenland?
Egyptian pyramids and finding
Not
preserved
Greenland. It
human
was Ireland.
remains. Oh god. When we loot boxes in Minecraft and get rotten flesh, it's actually the flesh of ancient humans? We're desecrating 8-bit corpses? Oh, that puts it in an entirely new perspective.
Oh.
But what's really interesting about this, outside of the fact that now we've realized that we're just all poking dead bodies, is the next most common item that we'll find in these chests: string. Now, string might seem like the odd one out here. Maybe it's just a coincidence that it appears with the exact same frequency as sand and gunpowder, but I think there's something else going on here. Consider this. In the Minecraft world, string is connected to cats. After all, tamed cats have a chance of giving string to the player, and cats drop string when they die. The premise is that cats love playing with string. But why would the ancient builder civilization that made desert pyramids have any sort of connection with cats? Well, once again, we can
I
turn
love
to
cats.
real
I have
world
one
Egypt.
cat
The
and he's
ancient
amazing.
Egyptians considered cats to
He
be
loves
sacred.
biting
A number
me.
of Egyptian deities had cat heads. Ancient religious texts from the
Not
time
good.
detailed the protective function
Ooh, the
of cats,
cats
as they were
will
considered
cut the
responsible for
snake.
killing venomous snakes.
The
They were
cats will
considered in
cut
first
the
dynasty of
serpent
Egypt
in
to play an
half and
important role in
protect
keeping
the
pharaoh safe,
queen
even on his journey
of
into the afterlife.
Egypt.
Skeletal
I
remains
tell
show
you
that
what,
many
I think
pharaohs
that's a
were
great
buried with
idea.
cats to keep them safe.
Through teams, we were able to launch a new beach
creepy.
cruiser. It's called the Lemonade Coast.
Everybody was working somewhere remote.
Lemonade
yet we were able to
Coast.
bring
I
it
don't
to
like ads. Why don't I just turn ad block on in
Safe.
there?
The fact that Egyptians held cats as sacred was something that enemies would sometimes take advantage of in battle. In the 6th century BC, during the Battle of Pelusium, Persian soldiers used cats as shields, expecting that Egyptians would be hesitant to attack if they thought they would risk hurting cats. Even wilder than the fact that they tried this as a combat maneuver is the fact that it actually worked. So how does this relate to the Minecraft world?
Oh
Well, wouldn't you
no.
know it, but there's a particular Minecraft
Medieval
mod that's repelled by the appearance of cats.
Poor
The
cat.
creeper. It's a weird detail, right? Why this creature of all mobs would avoid something as random as cats? Well, it suggests either one, that it's scared of cats, or two, that it is the creation of a civilization that somehow found cats important. Creepers avoid cats because they don't want to hurt them, just like the ancient Egyptians avoided cats in wartime for fear of hurting the sacred creatures. I mean,
Yes,
seriously,
don't
it
hurt the
seems
sacred
highly possible that the
creatures.
ancient builders made creepers with their own cat-worshipping sensibilities in mind. But those ancient desert builders aren't the only ones in the Minecraft world to worship cats.
They
If you've
summoned
ever
cats
found a woodland
down
mansion, you might have stumbled
from
across a room
Zeus
with a
himself.
giant cat statue. It is unexpected, to say the least. Why would they do that? Well, you might say that the cat statue is a tribute to the Minecraft lead designer's pet cat Newton, and you'd be right.
Newton.
But there are lots of places that you can put
Oh,
this
cute
Easter
cat.
egg. Why place it here in the Woodland Mansion specifically?
Because
Well,
they,
remember earlier this
like,
episode when I mentioned that TNT only appears in two places in the Minecraft world? One was the Desert Pyramid, obviously, but the other is the Woodland
Yes.
Mansion, where you also
Pretty sure the
find chests that are booby-trapped with TNT.
I forgot it. Oh, that resembles the end portal.
Something tells me that the Illagers might be copying someone's homework. And not just with
Ooh,
cats and
I'm
TNT either, but with the
telling.
whole concept of life itself. I've spent multiple episodes trying to
Oh,
prove...
don't you? No, I remember. You find cats because I've played Minecraft a lot, and I love villages because they're so fun to loot and burn. But you always find cats in villagers, with villagers. And what are the pillagers? What are the pillagers? An evil version of the villagers.
You how the Illagers are experimenting with the power of eternal life, most notably the usage of the totems of the Undying. But these Egyptian connections just take it all one step further. Cats,
Ow.
TNT, Ankhs, a quest for eternal life, from ancient Egypt to Minecraft desert temples to woodland mansions, it all connects. And now we start to see how these pieces may start to fall together. Could it be that creepers were some of the earliest creations of the ancient builders, living in their desert temples? Perhaps it was their experiments with life and creating life that led to the creation of a walking sentient pillar of TNT. And as a society that valued cats, just like their counterparts in real-world Egypt, and as evidenced by the strings stored throughout their loot boxes, they endowed their creations with a similar respect for
Is that a
felines.
sword?
And from there, could it be that Illagers are long-lost descendants of that culture, with their cat statues and their TNT booby traps? Or are they just imitating this ancient culture, cargo culting it without really knowing the logic or reason behind it? Who knows? The answer to that question may be coming. I hear that this summer we're going to be able to do our own archaeological excavations in Minecraft. I mean, I can dig it, as in archaeology pun. Get it? Again, I hate myself. I am so
That
sorry.
looks so
Anyway, until
cool.
that moment, that,
Can you
my
find, like,
friends,
gold?
is the uncanny connection between creepers, cats, and desert temples. The strange coincidences just keep building, don't they? You can bet I'll be here to cover it all. But until
Of
the next
course you
one,
are.
remember,
Of
it's all
course you
just a theory. A game theory. Thanks for watching. You know, one thing they don't warn you about being a YouTuber is the sheer amount of time you spend staring at screens. For this theory alone, I had Minecraft on one monitor and Ancient Alien taking my Raycon wireless earbud pairing
Oh
more
yeah,
bass
so just your normal game theory plug. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hopefully I was not too annoying. I think a few parts I could have been a little more quiet, but you know, either you put nothing. Okay, either you put nothing into your video or you put everything in your video. And usually I'll put kind of mix, a little bit less on nothing. Today, the past few weeks, I've been putting everything into my videos. So, I'm sorry that I actually deleted a video that was uploaded yesterday. And because the thumbnail was absolutely garbage and I forgot my signature thumbnail. How can I Okay. How could I forget my signature thumbnail?